Right. E, to resolve the business rate payable for the digital notice board and to resolve to agree the next step.
Right, so I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because SHDC can't do anything without the valuation office, and I went through all the process of registering with the valuation office, and once I did, you can only ask them for a change if anything has got bigger, smaller or changed in character since you last had a valuation on it.
Yeah, but I think what South Holland was suggesting we do is the fact that they valued it, which has resulted in this charge. We need to appeal that decision. That's
But
what
you
South
only
Holland...
appeal the decision if it is materially different, which is what it says on one of those, where was it? There's a screenshot. I thought I'd put it in there. Request to claim your property. Confirm visiting. I don't want to put some of this on the screen because some of it contains my personal information. So what it actually says is once you've registered, so one of those is where I registered my details on behalf of Holbeach Parish Council, then it says to challenge the existing, because originally it was valued at 1,500 and then they upped it to 2,000 rateable value, and it says there, do you want, you have to in order to challenge, you have to do the first step,
Which is check.
Yeah. And we can't do that because it hasn't physically changed since the original valuation went on. So you're between a rock and a hard place.
No. So it hasn't changed since the original valuation, but it's the original valuation we're trying to challenge. So
Yeah,
that
but
is
you
the
can't
change.
do that.
No,
No,
but
that's portal. You can't do it because you have to go on and it says, is there more room? Is there this? Is there that? And it's a tick box. And if you can't agree to all those things, you can't go on to the next bit, which is to challenge the evaluation.
Mr. Chairman, might I suggest that we covered it in pink vinyl to make a material challenge to change to the outside of the thing anyway.
But
in which case that would be a material change.
No, the change that we are disputing is the fact that it was placed there in the first place.
Yeah.
That's so if there's a tick box on there that basically means you've put up an advertising board or whatever it would say. That is the change we're disputing because that's the point where the rateable value was
I
introduced.
take your point, Councillor Hutchinson, but the problem, as Clark has said, is that is the one that is causing the issue. Therefore, if we can materially change it to give them an opportunity to be able to tick a box and solve the problem that way.
I wouldn't do that.
Well,
because
hang on a second. That's exactly
one at a time.
No. So if you're going to materially change it, then they're making a decision based on that point. But that's not the decision you're wanting to challenge. You're wanting to challenge the original decision. So if you start doing extra things, you're going to confuse the process.
Well, the whole point is the process at the moment is a deadlock. At this point, you give them the get out effectively, and that's how a lot
Well,
of
if there's not a tick box you can tick, you would just ring up and then ask them and say.
But this is what Clark has already done, and she's found herself stuck.
So this is what you can challenge on, right? You can also send a check case to tell the VOA that the property has been split into more than one, the property has been merged with others to create one or more new properties, the property has been demolished or renovated, there has been a change in the local area affecting the property, a court decision has affected the property, and if you don't fit into one of those, then you can't move on to the next stage.
Mr. Chairman and Madam Clark, renovation would include covering in pink vinyl for the purposes of doing this.
So
it ticks the box and gives them an opportunity to be able to move
So South Holland have advised that we're basically meant to be appealing the original decision to change its value, yeah? If the procedure that they have suggested we follow, we can't follow because it's not a correct tick box, the first thing to do is either go back to them and say, we've tried this, we can't, where do you advise us to go? And if not, go back to the valuation office.
But you will have seen that a couple of times I've gone back to them and they just say, we can't do any more to help you.
Is there somebody at the valuation office, because you've been in contact with somebody, haven't
Somebody
you?
before,
Yeah.
I can get back to them, but when I got back to them, as you will see by one of the emails, they told me there's nothing more they could do to help me to go back to South Holland. So I'm in this
Yeah,
little
but
loop.
if there's a process within their website that you can't follow because you can't tick a box, that is their responsibility. So they can't then tell you to go back to South Holland because it's their website you're dealing with.
I
So
can
I'll
try
just
and
be-
contact
Yeah, I
them.
think-
Sorry, if you don't with council, you don't seem to have had a lot of experience with councils because they're forever doing this kind of thing.
No, but this is what I mean. You have to go back to them and remind them that it's their website, so therefore it's their responsibility. And once you be blunt enough, then they do deal with you.
Yeah,
So I do
can
have
agree with
experience in dealing with
Darcy that
councils.
we go back to them and say, look, we can't do it on your website. Now, what do we do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Your website does not fit what we want to do.
Yeah, only concern is obviously that
Yes,
that's already
but-
done that.
Well, first and foremost, it needs to be working first, and it hasn't been working since the beginning of December, so have we resolved that fact?
We've got an IT issue at the minute.
Got
We
no,
are
there's
working with
not
the company
Ours
trying
or
to
theirs?
get, well,
With
it's
the
the
system.
programming behind, but we've been in contact, but they've been closed over Christmas and New Year, so
Right.
we're just rechasing
Okay.
them, so.
And then the other solution that you've got is that, ultimately, district council have got the ability to give discounts on rates. So if you're not getting anywhere, you go back to them and say, look, we took this in good faith through your grant funding. We would request that you give us a discount on the rates. They can discount it at source if they
Oh,
choose to do
You're
so.
only allowed the relief on one property, and we already get that relief on one of our other properties, so we can't have the business rate relief.
Have we asked if there's any other relief they're able to give us then?
We are
Given the circumstances.
we dealt with this through the very district councillor who
Yeah.
was, as you well know, it was, and nobody seems interested.
So
To help.
ultimately,
I mean,
a
could
person-
the district councillors fund some money to help us pay for it?
but that's not going to be solving the issue in the long term, is it?
No,
Because
it
it's
won't.
just using budget.
I'll
so-
say let's go back to the
VOA.
valuation officer
Yeah.
and see what they say. Then come
And
back
tell
to it.
us that we've been in contact with our district council and they were the ones who told us to go on that link and appeal.
Yeah, and if the link don't work, so what are you going to do for it now?
It's not that the link doesn't work, the link tells you a certain criteria.
We don't fit the,
We
yeah.
don't fit
To
the
me,
criteria.
that means it doesn't work for us.
No, it doesn't, because the
don't
original
have to find an
forms that they
alternative way of us doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the original forms they sent through were completely, we couldn't fill them in because they didn't apply to things like a digital notice board. So I rang the valuation office, and this guy that Sophie's talking about helped me, and he just said strike through it and put not applicable to this type of
Yeah,
things, which we did, and then they valued
Have
it
we
still.
written to our MP yet?
About it.
Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness, the
Yeah.
valuation office are not going to be seeing this as a prime
Anyway,
policy,
can
are
we-
they?
So,
so bring it to a close. We're going back to the VOA, we're going to write to the MP, and then I think propose next agenda, we bring it back for an update.
Okay, opposed?
Second.
Thank you.